Okay, so basically this is gonna be like my digital dash, or not digital dashboard, but I'm gonna have it right here for now. Really it's just gonna have like the basic stuff that I care about, like inside temperature, outside temperature, battery, and mileage. I got this idea actually from Pinterest, which is kind of interesting. Even to this part, I can put up a photo of what I basically mock mine off of. This is actually running on a Windows phone, so I can design this with anything, so I can have this actually run on a tablet when I want to do that in the future. Right now you can kind of see the orange foam behind it because this is just a test, so I left the walls of this actually pretty thin. So when I reprint this, it's going to be with, like I said, black PETGs in case for direct sunlight. And what it's going to do is you're not going to be able to see the screen behind it, and I actually might end up switching this screen out to like a smaller screen or something. But I actually, in reality, I really wanted to have this right here. So basically right here we got the Z. All right, so as you can tell, we already got this one loosened. We got the spring cup out. We're gonna walk around to the other side. So we got Freddie putting in new coilover ons. We already got coilovers on the front. He already did that earlier, so yeah. This car's about to be super clean. Oh, you hear that? So yeah, we're smart. We got the wheel chokes, we got the jack stand, so we good. All right, so I just went to Home Depot to get some like bolts and nuts because the coilovers that came with Freddie's Z, or the coilovers that Freddie has for his Z, doesn't have the bolt type or the nut welded to the coilover. So we need separate nuts and coilovers separate nuts and bolts for that. But the only problem is I just went to go check at Home Depot for a 1/2 inch nut for the bolt, and it wasn't even fitting, so I just bought a grade 8 bolt. So hopefully those are good, and let's see. All right, so we back from Home Depot, and the bolts, this bolt did not fit in the coilover bottom part right here, and the other bolt didn't fit on the nuts that we have for this. So we ended up just pulling one of the nuts from the old drive shaft differential that I have for my Z, and it was a perfect fit for the pitch of the thread. So all that is good, and yeah. Now we got this bolted up, and we're about to put the wheels back on to be done. And then next, from looking at here, the way we're gonna do it is, so this one is the high pressure line for the power steering. You see it goes all the way over. This is the return line. Because it's the return line, we can just use any type of tubing for this one, we'll be fine. But this one, we actually need the high pressure line for, which is why we're paying $30 to $50 for it. But the way it's gonna work is we're gonna unbolt that bolt right there. I think there might be some power steering in there, so we're gonna have to put a bucket in there or something. But anyways, we're gonna put like a bucket in there, take this off. When this comes off, we're gonna put in the new tubing or whatever, or new pipe, and then we're gonna run it to either here. We can actually run it anywhere in car, doesn't really matter for right now. And then next, what we're gonna do is we're going to take that return line. We're gonna actually just probably end up taking this off from like this end over here. This is where we're gonna be underneath the car anyway. It's kind of hard to see, but that end over there. And we're just gonna run it to the power steering. And I'm thinking about having a power steering either in the front of the car over here, or I might. Okay, so right here we have the hose for the car. Okay, so right here in the back of the car we have the hose. So I did a 90-degree facing basically for the other side. For the one that's gonna connect to the power steering. The power steering rack, and then this side is going to go to the pump of the car. This is the longest cord I could technically get. So what I'm thinking about doing is on the side of the car is basically I would have to have the power steering within this area, and because the power steering is on that side right here, the power steering pump where that connector is, so let's say we just drop that right there. The furthest I can have the power steering is technically on this side of the car, unless I go with another bracket, but I don't want to risk a leak. So I'll probably just run the power steering up this side and run the power steering on this right here. So this is what I'm thinking about for the bracket. Battery sit from here back. Power steering sits right here. Vacuum pump somewhere up here. BMS and everything else can sit above all of this and work from there. Or basically wherever I do the battery pack at, I'm gonna sit the controller and BMS on. But with a little bit of a gap and everything, and see how that works. So let's see. So I popped the hood on this 2004 I think 2004, 2005, or 2003 Audi, and this is the pump that we need. I'm just gonna get two, just be on the safe side. And yeah, looks like it's actually not even held in there really with anything other than, yeah. Okay, so down here you see I got my clutch pedal. That's like all the way down because, you know, everything's, you know, loosened up and everything. Next we have our brake pedal, and then we have our accelerator pedal. I believe the accelerator pedal is, or gas pedal is spring loaded, so that's actually pretty good. We'll talk about that, the reason why on that later. The brake pedal, as you can see right now, it's really, I click it, I'm pushing it, and nothing's happening. So that means I have, like, you know, no pressure or no vacuum at all. So what I did here originally was I hooked up 8 AA batteries to it, which got me up to 12 volts. And I hooked it up, and when this hooked up, air comes out the bottom part somewhere around here. I believe it's like from underneath where these screws are. I just don't know where exactly, but air comes out. And when the air comes out, it blows, you know, from up here this way. When it's in reverse, it blows that way, and you know, it's harder. You're gonna notice. So basically, just switch the polarity around and you're good. So this is what I did. So for right now, just to test it. All right, cool. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this off. Cool. I'll take this one off too, just to be on the safe side. Okay. All right, so now that we're back in the car, you see the vacuum pump work, the brake pedal actually sitting more up, and you can hear that I actually have brakes until the vacuum runs back out. So now it's out again, and you can hear it's like, that's it, it's out. All right, so basically here's the progress. So this is an example of a mock-up that I'm doing. I don't think I'm actually gonna keep this part. I might actually switch out for actual angle iron, only because this is kind of flimsy right now. So this is only good for probably, you know, moving the car in and around less than 5 miles per hour. I just don't trust it at like 70 miles per hour, you know, with everything hopping around. So yeah, but anyways, so we got the high pressure tube connected to the power steering pump. Tomorrow I'm gonna go back to power steering and kind of fill this up, and then we're gonna try this out. So we're just gonna like basically strip those wires a little bit more, hook it directly up to the battery. And because the battery, I believe, can pull up to what, 500 amps, and the max that this is going to pull is about 80 amps. And I got the fuses in too, so we're going to add all that here, so it's going to be pretty cool. And work on the circuits. But anyways, we got the high pressure tube. I'm actually about to hook up the low pressure tube. I left this one connected, and basically with this one we can just kind of wiggle this around some way. And actually I might be able to just leave this at the bottom like here, but it somehow bring it around. Oops, hope this doesn't fall. I kind of just bring it around right here and put it like that and just bend this down because it's a low pressure tube, and it's not gonna be any serious kinks in it, so we'll be fine. So at the end of this, we're basically gonna push this down just a little, so just like you see that rotating. And with both those down, we'll set the batteries right on top of this right here. So we'll probably put like a spacer, and then we'll run all the tubes underneath. And with all the tubes underneath, we're also gonna run this tube actually. Actually, this can go anywhere because of how small it is and everything. I have the option of actually, I was thinking about really putting this one inside of the power steering, inside of the fuel pump area, just so it could be quieter, but it's gonna be like a loud whine, but we'll hear when it's actually started up. But this only needs one tube. This one tube is actually just gonna run to this right here. I tested it already in my last video. And the reason why it's not fully connected yet is because I'm gonna 3D print like a brake mount for this. This one is pretty light, probably like 5 pounds. So I can just print something to hold that. And basically, when this connects to that, we're also gonna put in a high pressure switch hooked up to a relay and everything to turn this on every time the pressure is low or the vacuum is low. And then this one is basically gonna turn on whenever we send a signal to one of these wires over here. So that's awesome. So basically on this part, these two things means I can literally start, if I had a motor in the car, I'll be able to drive and everything. So yeah, so that's cool. So now that we see where this is the actual room that we have batteries and motor. So batteries are gonna be here this week, and the motor may be back sometime next week or the week after, and we're gonna drop it in and see how it goes. So here we go. So we have the drive shaft here, and basically I already put on the other side, the 1/4 keyed yoke. This side I'm working on